I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. I specialize in games that can be played in 20 minutes or less, and this is my list for a mixed age family game night. This is a list for siblings, specifically when you have younger children, think ages about 5 to 7, who really want to start to be able to play some of the games independently, but they also want to have some chance to win, which can be difficult if there are older siblings involved. These are also games that, as a parent, I enjoy and I want to play, and I'm not sitting there playing some game that is geared for just little kids. There are 5 games on this list. I have them all in the description of the video along with a timestamp, so let's get started. First up, we have Jumanji Deluxe. Yes, the version of the game matters. In the deluxe version of this game, that is, yes, very closely tied in with the Robin Williams movie, you open up the box and then the board comes alive, and the center, when you push the button, it reads out riddles to you, and you have to answer the very simple riddles. There's answer cards around, so you select which one you think is the right answer to the riddle, and it's cooperative. You're trying to get someone to move their token to the center of the board, push the button, and shout out Jumanji, just like in the movie, so then you all win together. This game, it's pretty amazing. There's a difference between this and the regular version of the game, which is just called Jumanji, and that doesn't have the button. The wow factor, I'm telling you, kids go nuts over this. As an adult, I was pretty excited about it. It's really cool. But there's some difference in gameplay between the two versions. So while this is a higher sticker price, I would say it is absolutely worth it. They made it very much more cooperative in this. In the other one, you sort of won when somebody got to the center, but also there were things where you would be able to pick someone to hold back, and you had to roll a certain thing in order for them to not be stuck in their spot, which is weird for a cooperative game to be working against your teammates. And there was a lot more speed rolling, which with young children can be tricky. So with this, there are a few elements like that, but they come up occasionally, and I would say it's more of a fun family experience than like a strategic game. There's not a lot of strategy you have to worry about in this, which is great if you have a younger child that just wouldn't have that aspect of the game down just yet. My only complaint about this game as a parent is sometimes cute, exciting things happen that make you get up and grab the game board and move to another room. Or you have to, if the lion comes up, then whoever the oldest, the oldest adult becomes the lion and has to kind of chase people around, and it's an impromptu game of hide and seek. And I like to just sit and play my games pleasantly, but the kids, it's not anything too intense, and the kids just go nuts. And we've played this with people who play a ton of games, and we've played this with people who don't play as many games, and everyone, full marks from everybody involved. So this is great for whichever group of people you want to use it for. Next up, we have 5 Minute Mystery, another cooperative game. Cooperative games can be a great way to introduce younger gamers into board game strategy and help them get it down in a collaborative environment and prep them for more strategic competitive games where you're playing against each other. So this is a great entry point. And if you find the right game, this is a fantastic game. It's a cooperative whodunit where you are trying to, from a sea of potential suspects, find the single culprit, and you do this by finding symbols on scene cards. And if you match up all the correct symbols, then you get to, and match them up to the decoder, then you get a new clue, and eventually you're able to narrow down your suspects to just one. You catch the right culprit, then you win. It's like, it feels like an escape room game that you can play over and over and over again. And it's called 5 Minute Mystery because many of the scenarios you play in 5 minutes. So it's quick. It's really great. And this is doable with young children. Young children are actually amazing at finding the symbols on the scene cards. I don't know what it is. Little kids are amazing at that part of it. And they love decoders. This game is great both for kids and adults. So as an adult, I'm not like, oh, I'm sitting here playing this little kid game. We brought this to adult game nights. Everyone's liked it. I've played it at some of my board game camps. All the kids have liked it. It's just so popular, works well. And I like this one. It seems like you can have a lot of success even with the time limits because they have different scales of difficulty level for the different scenarios you're doing. So in the very beginning intro one, you have 9 minutes to catch one culprit, which is very doable. And then they have other ones that are much more intense and strategic, and you better be on your A game if you are going to manage it. And also, another aspect that impacts the difficulty level is how many people you have involved. So it's really easy to add in a younger child into this game because it's the same amount of work no matter how many people you have playing the game. So if you are playing it as a family of 4, it's the same game as if you're just playing it with 2 people. So the jobs just kind of get spread around a little bit more. So it's very doable, and there are a lot of team things going on. So it's easy to kind of train up somebody younger. And again, cooperative. It just works so well, and this is just a fantastic game to try out. Next up, we have Space Escape, also known as Mole Rats in Space. This is the final cooperative game on this list, and I would say it feels like strategic Chutes and Ladders, but it's set in outer space and has an amazing mole rat theme. It's by the creator of Pandemic, and it is just a fabulous little game. There's been an emergency, and your mole rats are trying to get to the escape pod and collect some emergency equipment on the way, but they also have to watch out for going down chutes that would shoot them into outer space, and they have to watch out for snakes, which are the only natural predator of the mole rat. I love this game because it is challenging. There is some strategy required, but it's at an appropriate level, and a younger kid, like a 5 or 6-year-old, with some help from older siblings or an adult, can absolutely hang for this game if they've played a few board games. If they've been playing board games, then this is a great choice for them. And I also really like that there's a lot of simultaneous play in this game. Each person takes turns revealing a card and then performing the action, but a lot of times the action on the card involves more than one player. It will involve all of the players, and you all have to decide where you want to move your little mole rats, which works really well because as wonderful as younger children can be, my 6-year-old plays a lot of games, and he does really well. He plays this game, but any game where he has to remember when it's his turn, things get a little bit, he doesn't. A lot of the time I have to say, it's your turn. Simultaneous play gets rid of that problem quite a bit and is very helpful. And just the gameplay, I love. The theme is great for both boys and girls. That can be a consideration when younger kids are involved. If it's not the right theme, that they're not there. And I think it's hilarious. It's the only mole rat themed game I've ever played, and I want more because it's awesome. Next on this list, we have Catan Junior, which is a streamlined pirate-themed version of Settlers of Catan, where you win when you have placed all of your pirate lairs on the map. And this game, usually I'm a little wary of selecting any game that has the word junior. It's my first version or anything like that if you have a younger sibling and an older sibling playing together. Because oftentimes the older sibling might say, oh, well, I played the real version of that game and I don't need to or want to play the baby introduction version. I actually prefer to the regular version of Settlers of Catan, which I have played quite a bit. It's all the fun of the game, but it's just packed into a shorter playing time, and they've removed a few of the aspects of the game that seem to provide the most angst when people play. There's a ghost pirate that gets moved onto islands when you roll a 6. Or if you get a special parrot development card, you can move it around, and then you get 2 resources from the bank. You don't pick somebody to steal from what they've already collected. So it's really still good for you, but it doesn't seem to, it's not as hard of a difficult and personal of a blow as having somebody take one of your resources from you. There's also the trading doesn't really seem to happen, and if it does, it's optional, so that speeds things along, and it's just easier to go along and get to the finish. And sometimes people are very lucky and they just roll a bunch of 6s, they get all the resources they want, and they win. You've played about 20 minutes of a game. It's really easy to say, okay, good job, you won, and get it out and play again. Short games in general just seem like a great choice for kids who are just starting to play games, because they'll be able to sit down and they can handle the strategy for however long that game is. And if they lose, it's not as much of a blow, because that can be really tough for a little 5 or 6-year-old. But if you lose and you just say, oh, yeah, that was it, but we can play again, that seems to help quite a bit. But this is just a fabulous game. We play this all the time, and we're all kind of afraid of playing with my 6-year-old, because we say that he has the best dice rolls. He always wins this game. And but I just so thoroughly enjoy it every time. And this is one of the ones we get out the most often for multiple siblings playing together with me. And finally, we have Rat-a-Tat Roll. This is a Gamewright game. Gamewright is a company that basically specializes in this kind of game. Family-friendly games that can be played with a variety of ages and that everyone will do well, but are interesting and exciting and engaging to play. This is basically like the 2.0 version of Rat-a-Tat Cat, a very popular Gamewright game. And you have the same end goal. You're trying to end with the fewest points in your collection of cards that you have. But the gameplay is a little different. You have a board, and you get to roll dice and move around the Statue of Liberty to different spots that allow you to do different things. So there's the specialty cards that were present in Rat-a-Tat Cat that you would get very rarely and were very exciting. There's many more opportunities to get to strategically use those kind of powers in this game. But they've also added a few things. There are balloon reroll tokens, which are really key when you get to roll the specialty dice. When you roll the specialty die, there's a rat side to it where you'd have to take the highest value card of the 5 cards that are out and add it to your collection. Bad. So you probably want to pay one of those hot air balloons to get to re-roll. And then hopefully you'll get the cat side of the die and get to take the lowest of the cards that's out in front on the table. And then there's even a swap card where you can trade with another player, one of your cards for theirs. So it's all very familiar, especially if we've played Rat-a-Tat Cat, but just a little more strategy, a little more interesting things going on without unnecessarily increasing the complexity level of the game. But I love this game. I'm always happy to play it. And Gamewright, thank you. Fantastic choices if you are in the situation where you want to get to play family games and you have to pick something that'll work for everybody. So that's it for my mixed age family game night video. I'd like to dedicate this video to my father, who records these videos for me and only occasionally teases me for all of my commentary as we're filming. So it is super fun, and he is super lovely and is probably much of the reason that I enjoy games as much as I do. So thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time from Game Like a Mother.